Namaste. My name is Todd and I'm the founder of Ashaya Yoga. Welcome to Asana Spotlight. It's great to be here, great to see you. The pose we're going to do today is an awesome posture. It's called Chaturanga Dandasana. Chatur means four, Anga means limb, asana, so four-limb pose. And Danda means staff, means something that's very straight and strong, staff. So four-limbed staff pose, we could say. It's a very common pose. And guess what? A lot of people get injured doing this pose because it involves shoulder integration. And when the head of the arm bones dip forward like this, which I call slumpasana, in Germany it's schlumpasana, and then we try to weight bear like this, it's out of balance. And the muscles that we're asking to hold the body in strength are not strong enough. And so they get these little micro tears. If you do a lot of Chaturanga Dandasana, especially in the Ashtanga series and the flow series, which is wonderful, but if you do it misaligned, you're going to get some irritation in your shoulders. So today I'm going to show you how to avoid the irritation in the shoulders, and actually we'll do it Chaturanga as a therapeutic pose today that's going to help you heal, because we're going to learn how to engage our core, engage all of our muscles. I'm going to take you to the wall. We're going to go to the floor. I have one called supine Chaturanga Dandasana. Whoever thought of that? So we're going to have a good time. But I want to first talk about just this crazy world we live in. And I would say it just seems like every single day there's some unbearable tragedy that happens. As yogis, how do we cope? As human beings, how do we cope with this? How do we hold it all? It's not easy, and I'm not claiming to have any answers. But what I do know is that we need to connect into a greater energy, to believe that there is some goodness deep in the human heart, deep inside of all of us, that brings light, that brings hope, that brings a sense of love and caring for each other. And having this connection to a bigger energy helps with the healing process. And it keeps us out of hopelessness and a point of despair. And I hear you. I sometimes go there myself. But that's not healthy to live in hopelessness for very long. So there is a quality I want to teach today. It's called resilience. And resilience is something that can really help us, because resilience is our capacity to bounce back. Look, in nature, everything is resilient. Nature is resilient. The four seasons are resilient. The heart, it contracts and then it opens. It's resilient. It always comes back until the end of the heart's biological life. And what happens is, if we don't have this quality of resiliency, when we go down, we can stay down. And what keeps us down is that we're not able to access this bigger source I'm talking about, which vibrates in stillness. So what's really needed is to understand that resilience is the natural capacity of our body. When left alone, the body will naturally regroup. Healing is in our DNA. I mean, just go and scratch yourself on a bush or something, and every cell of your body rallies to heal that. It's how we're wired. The heart and the emotions are the same way. So, but we get in our own way, and then we're not resilient. Resilience is sourced in stillness. So really, we don't want to go for resilience. We want to go for stillness to get to resilience. And how do you get to stillness? You need two things. You need to surrender. In other words, you have to stop the obsessive thinking about anxiety about the future and mulling over regrets from the past. I wish I didn't say that, or, oh, I was a jerk back then, or, I wish something didn't happen. That's our, dysfunctional attempt to change the unchangeable. Whenever you're trying to change something that absolutely cannot be changed, it's wasted energy. We get in the rat wheel. We perseverate, and, we go out of control, basically. So those are the things that keep us out of stillness. So we need to let go of that. Let go. It is actually a human capacity. Everyone has the capacity to surrender and to let go. But you have to choose it, and you have to know it. The next is, so that's what you let go of. But then You need tenacity to know what you're holding on to. And this tenacity is this unwillingness not to give up. So whenever you fall, let's say you fall 7 times, as long as you get up that 8th time, you have succeeded. To understand that failure is not a defeat, but failure is only a delay. To learn that everything in life is for our awakening. So in that sense, there's really no mistakes. There's really no failing. There's only learning. This kind of positive attitude, it's not toxic positivity, it's reality. And to understand that when you don't do that, then you reduce your capacity for resiliency so that when you go down, you stay down. And that's what we're trying to do, is how to actually bounce back. So today we're going to focus on tenacity, which in Chaturanga Dandasana, it's a very tenacious pose. So what does your heart most deeply desire? What are your beliefs that keep you healthy? And how to hang on to those no matter what. And hang on to those in the face of these unbearable tragedies that are happening. And that's what we have in the human body, in the human psyche. We have this capacity to endure, a capacity to survive. And that's really what's being called forth here, I think. All right. Let's get started. We're going to do a little bit of warm-up. So join me at the top of your mat. Come stand in Tadasana. Face the short side of your mat, feet parallel. And in a way, alignment helps us to become more resilient. So I want you to have kind of a tenacity for alignment. And then lift your toes and the muscles hug. With tenacity, bring your palms together in front. Thigh bones back, tailbone in. Inhale, stretch up. Reach for something greater, a bigger energy, a concept, a way to frame what's going on. Where are you in all these, experiences that are happening? Come into your heart and then exhale. Lead with your heart and fold. Exhale and bow. Enjoy the stretch. Again, lift and spread your toes. Hug in, honor yourself. And then inhale, shine the light of the self forward. Exhale and bow. Inhale, connect with that bigger energy, the universal. And then exhale, bring it into your body. Bow to it inside. And one more. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, bow. Step back, downward facing dog. Alternately press your heels. Deepen your breath now. Then bend both knees. Lift your sitting bones way up. Look at your hands. Wrist creases straight ahead. And then claw the finger pads and the roots where the fingers join the hands. With tenacity, claw. When you claw this way, the arches of the hands lift up. So there should be a little tiny space in the center of your palm. And then, instead of collapse down into the earth from holding all your weight, I want you to resist, pull from the hands all the way up through the armpits into the heart. And with tenacity, keep your armpits from collapsing. Lift your armpits up. Hug into your capacity to have a bounce back attitude, to not give up, but surrender the heart. So the space between the shoulder blades, upper back, softens toward the floor. With tenacity, keep your armpits lifted and find the place in the middle between surrender and tenacity. It's sort of like that place between letting go and holding on. Then from your heart, push back down through your hands and push through your heels. Stretch. Exhale, right leg forward. Come up, hands to hips. So warrior lunge here. Balance is definitely a factor. Hug in. Even if you wobble a little bit, don't give up. Even if you fall, get back up. Inhale, stretch your arms. Surrender. Open to the bigger energy. But don't give up. From your pelvis, push back through the left heel. Push from pelvis through the right shin. Rise up. Arch back a little bit more. And then exhale, sweep your arms down. Go back to downward dog pose and breathe. Exhale, left foot forward, Scissor your legs in toward the middle. And that's going to help you generate some balance. Inhale, arms up. Breathe. Let the breath take you to the place of that bigger energy. And then hug in. Imagine you're holding the beach ball between your hands. Squeeze. Lift your right thigh a little bit higher, back leg. Sit deeper into the left hip. And then from your pelvis, push right heel back, left shin forward. Rise up more. And breathe. Resilience gives us the capacity to bounce back rather than being a victim of life, to be victorious in life. Lift your heart. When you're victorious, feeling strong in yourself, you can help others so much more. Send compassion, send love, send empathy. And then exhale. Release. Come to plank pose. Take your thighs back, tailbone in. Pull your lower ribs in. Heart is soft. We're going to go through first version of Chaturanga. So you can put your knees on the floor if you need. Otherwise, very slowly come down. Keep your shoulders back all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Claw your hands. Isometrically sweep your palms backwards as though you could touch your feet. Sweep back. Lift your side ribs. Shoulders back. Shoulder blades hug. And then surrender your heart forward. But don't give up. Don't let your shoulders round forward. Keep the head of the arm bones engaged. Resiliency requires tenacity because that's how you get into stillness. You got to hold on to it. Exhale down. Push back up into downward dog and then step by step. Walk forward. Root your feet, sweep your arms out to the side, come all the way up. Reach up, look up, and exhale, release. Palms in front. Okay, hope you feel a little bit warmer than when we started. Come to the wall. This is Chaturanga at the wall, and it helps to teach a couple of things. It helps to teach what I call Hasta Bandha, or the hand lock, and shoulder integration. So bring your hands where they would be in Chaturanga. We'll get them just a little bit lower than the shoulders, but shoulder distance apart. Wrist creases point straight up. And begin to claw the pads, that's under the nails. Claw the pads. And also keep the roots of the fingers on the wall. And then isometrically pull down. As soon as you do that, you'll notice your arm muscles engage. Come in a little bit closer to the wall so you're not leaning toward the wall. Hug your legs, thighs back, tail in. And then as you claw and pull your palms down, lift your side ribs up and head of the arm bones back. The shoulders come up to about the level of the base of your neck. You don't have to shrug way up high, but do lift them a little bit. And then take the arm bones back. Now, as you pull down with your hands, sense and feel the back of your shoulder blades hug onto the ribs. And then lift your throat, take your palate back, and the back of your skull up. So this is Chaturanga at the wall. It's really good alignment. Guess what? It's Tadasana alignment with elbows bent. That's all it is. And then exhale, release. And you should have a little bit of fatigue in your arms. Okay, now we'll do another shape of Chaturanga. It's not exactly the pose yet. Supta Chaturanga Dandasana. So lie on your back. And then bend your elbows. Pull your fingers back so like your palms are on the ceiling this way. And hug your legs to the middle. Create a low back curve. So push your thighs toward the floor. Tailbone in. And then you can push your elbows down onto the floor, but extend your wrists back. And then lengthen your side ribs and use the floor now to get the head of your arm bones to go back
onto the floor. So we're using the floor as the measuring stick here. And breathe. This is also known as Chaturanga roadkill. Sorry, but it just reminds me of this. Press the back of your head into the floor as well. Now squeeze your shoulder blades in toward each other so you feel the tone. You can strengthen shoulder blade engagement in this way, and it's not weight bearing. Even still, you might get a little tired. Okay, don't let your fingers come to your shoulders. You're going to bring your forearms perpendicular to the floor. Good. And release. Another one to get the arm bones back is, it's called sleepwalker. So you stretch your fingers straight up toward the ceiling and then lift your shoulder blades off the floor and then root the armpits and the head of the arm bones to the floor. Release, lift up, and then exhale, armpits toward the floor. Do this a couple of times so you start to feel the capacity to actually move head of the arm bones back. That's a key issue in Chaturanga, is that the arm bones like to roll forward, and that's what creates the injury. So armpits back and hold. Imagine you could suck the armpits toward the floor more. Okay. Now keep the shoulder blades on the back, head of the arm bones back, and see if you can slowly stretch your arms overhead. Just some further work for the shoulders. And then slowly come back up, but keep the arm bones on the floor. And release. So you just worked all of your shoulder blade muscles right there. Okay. Roll to the side and come up. Come into plank pose. And then bring your knees to the floor. We're going to do 5 push-ups. Okay, but with knees on the floor, it's easier. So claw your hands and turn your lower arms in a bit, upper arms out. Heart is surrendered. Hands tenacious and claw. Hold on to what's most meaningful to you. Then slowly lower your heart, surrender the back of the heart, come part way down, and then go back up. That's 1. Exhale, come down. Not even, maybe halfway down, and then come up. Don't let the head of your arm bone go lower than the elbow. Actually, keep it a little higher. That's 3. Your gaze is just slightly out in front of you, maybe 2 or 3 feet, and down on the floor. 1 more. There's 5. Awesome. Okay, sit back on your heels, shake your arms out. So obviously this pose does require some upper body strength, but you can keep your knees on the floor and that takes some of the pressure off. I'm more concerned about having you do this weight bear and have the head of the arm bones back. All right, well, before we go into the full pose, there's another way. Some people call it cheating, but we're gonna actually do Chaturanga over a block. All right, so let the block hold your weight and come up. Curl your toes under. And we don't want to go up into cobra here, so gradually bring your shoulder at the level of your elbow. Claw. Lift the head of the arm bones up with tenacity, but the heart is surrendered. Then pull your lower ribs in and pull your tailbone in. Now, the center point of gravity in this pose that I call spanda centers is in the low belly, about 3 inches below the navel. So pull from periphery into spanda center, low belly, and from the low belly, stretch back through the heels and stretch forward through the head. Good. The block is helping you keep good alignment in your shoulders. Okay, exhale, release. Remove the block, shake your arms out. Okay, now here's another way to get into Chaturanga. And we're gonna go from plank
down. It's harder to go from the floor up. We're going to do that last. But let's do one starting at plank and then come down into the pose. Set your hands, wrist creases straight ahead. How wide apart are your hands? Well, consider the center of your wrist as wide as the outer shoulders. So just eyeball it. Fingers are spread evenly. Do Hasta Bandha now, hand lock. Pads and roots. I like to think of them as, you know, those little lizards in Florida? Gecko hands. Or in the South, anywhere actually. Claw. Then step back a little bit, come into plank. Move your thighs back a bit, tailbone in. It's just like Tadasana. Pull your ribs in. Waistlines lift up, heart is soft. Now you can put your knees on the floor. That's a great modification. Okay? And if you want to go for the full workout, then exhale. Lower slightly down until the head of the arms are in line with the elbows. Hold Chaturanga and hug in. Pull into the low belly center, and from the low belly, expand through heels and head. Hold. Hold longer. Hold more. And then exhale. Come on down. All right, clasp your hands behind your back. Put your feet flat on the floor. Tops of the feet down, hug your legs. And just come up into a little arch, little locust arch. And squeeze your shoulders back for some relief. And exhale down. Now, hands under, curl your toes under, knees off the floor. Hug in. We're going to just go up 4 inches. Hug to the middle. Hug in. Breathe in, tenacity. Breathe out, surrender. And then hug in and ready. Go up. Hands hugged with tenacity. What do you truly believe in? Hug into that. Thighs back, tail in. Hold. And exhale down. Okay, so that's a pretty good workout for upper body. And here's the last variation for those that really can't get enough strength in the wrists. You know, when your hand is extended, wrist is in full extension like this, it's very hard to recruit strength. But what if your forearms were on the floor? So we could do forearm plank. It's not the same as Chaturanga, but it gives you so much of the same dynamic. So come up and see if you can melt between the shoulder blades, but keep your hips up, thighs back, tailbone in, and hold. This is a really great core exercise. Pull your navel back. Pull your xiphoid process, which is the base of your front ribs and the tip of your tailbone closer together. Xiphoid tailbone connection. And hold. And then stir the pot. Now we're getting really a lot into the core. Draw a circle with your heart. And then opposite direction with tenacity. You're stirring in tenacity. That's the inner strength to be able to bounce back, to be able to come back and help yourself and help others. And then exhale. Release. Make a pillow with your hands. Turn your head to the side and rest. And breathe. Feel the electricity through your entire body. The 4-limb staff pose is so powerful in the capacity to be strong and to be able to bounce back, to develop this unbreakable wholeness, a place inside where you are invincible, where you stand in the power of the heart, you stand in the power of what's true, you stand in the power of love. And what's that saying? That when the love of power, we'll know we're coming into an age of peace when the love for power shifts to the power of love. Awesome. All right, come back up to sitting. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Even in this posture, lift your side ribs. Take the head of your arm bones back. Lift your throat. Take your skull back slightly. And then close your eyes. Line up your head, your heart, and your hips. We bring all parts of us interwoven. That's what Tantra is, the weaving of all parts of ourselves into a deep, integrated, meaningful matrix of connection and of healing and of resilience, sourced in stillness. Find the still point in your heart right now. Staying connected to that. Let's take a breath and chant Om. Send peace out into the universe. Om. Namaste. Thanks for doing Asana Spotlight with me. Hey, please share this with friends. Spread it around. Don't be greedy. Don't hold it to yourself. Send it to people who need a little more tenacity. People who need to find that place of stillness to be able to recover, to be able to heal from these unbearable tragedies that just seem to keep happening. But we can always come back to the heart, to know who we are, and bring goodness into the world and make change for the better. Okay. Take care. Have a great day.